Chapter 926, Undetected by Anyone. After a series of inquiries, only then did Tang Xiu find out the reason. It turned out that these four ghost generals obtained an ancient secret art manual in the underworld, from which they learned how to create a channel between their world and the mortal world. The end of the tunnel coincidentally ended up in the Lian family's place. So, that underworld great array outside and the netherworld one inside were laid out by the four of you, and you also imparted the underworld cultivation art to the Lians? Asked Tang Xiu with a heavy voice. Yes, and please spare our lives, venerable Immortal. The two ghost generals were full of trepidation and were scared stiff as they replied. Tang Xiu shook his head. He no longer cared about it after clearly figuring out the root of the matter. He turned to look at Gu Yan and faintly said, "Finish everything here." "All right." Gu Yan's eyes were gleaming with killing intent. Her mind moved, and she instantly killed the two ghost generals as well as the Lian family's 49 ancestors. Be it the ghost generals or the Lian ancestors, all were the same in her eyes, ants. She had her share of massacring countless people in the past. Nothing would make her flinch. "Expand your search to comb through every soul of each Lian family's member," said Tang Xiu. "Completely erase any of them who practice any cultivation art from the underworld. Do the same to those martial artists under this family too." "What about the weak, the elderly, women, and children?" asked Gu Yan. "Spare those who had no ability to participate in all of the wicked deeds carried out by the Lians," answered Tang Xiu indifferently. "Remember, we must not kill any innocents, but never let the sinners free whose hands are stained by blood." In but a few minutes, all those who had practiced martial arts in the Lian family's manner silently met their maker, for a total of dozens of martial artists. Gu Yan even conducted a thorough search on their souls to find out the situation of other Lian family's clansmen. Ultimately, tens of other clansmen of the Lians in every part of the country were all killed without anyone noticing. Certainly, Gu Yan also did a thorough cleaning up regarding the underworld great array as well as the netherworld one, including the altars and the blood pools. She also destroyed the tunnel. "All right. Let's head back," said Tang Xiu in a heavy voice after Gu Yan completed her tasks and handled all the problems. In a flash, Tang Xiu and Gu Yan, as well as Miao Wendong and Moa's team who had been waiting in the vicinity near the Lian family's residence, all returned to the Miao family's residence. They arrived precisely at the living room of the villa belonging to Miao Wendong. "Has everything been done, Brother Tang?" Miao Wendong, who had been waiting anxiously for the news, found that everyone had returned back. He asked with a puzzled face immediately after they arrived. "Everything's been solved." Tang Xiu solved and said. "The malicious cancer that was the Lians has been completely rooted out. However, there is something you need to deal with. Me doing some things is not a problem, but did you say you've completely cleaned up everything?" asked Miao Wendong with obvious disbelief on his face. "How did you do it? Didn't you just enter their residence?" "Brother Miao, the Lians who have practiced the cultivation art of the underworld have been killed by us," said Tang Xiu with a faint smile. "All martial artists under them were included. No longer will there be a Lian family in the occult sect in the future. Any surviving members will decline by themselves." With a shocked face, Miao Wendong shot a look at both Tang Xiu and Gu Yan. Especially the latter. Unprecedented shock struck him after knowing how powerful she was. After a long silence, he then said, "Then what is it that you want me to deal with, Brother Tang?" "Well, the Miao family will be the scapegoat. You're to spread the news that you've removed the Lians," said Tang Xiu. "It's not all without benefits, though. Their industries will be yours, except those still being managed by the surviving members." "Can you lend me Ah and his brothers for several days?" requested Miao Wendong with hesitation. "The Lians are from the occult sect, and if some of the other families have a good relationship with them, they will definitely use the pretext to attack my family, so I need some experts to help me." Tang Xiu gave his consent with a nod. He then looked at Moao and the rest. You guys will all stay in Ning City for some time to carry out all the arrangements by Brother Miao. Stay here until all the issues related to the Lien family have been completely dealt with. You can return to Shanghai to find me afterward. Understood, respectfully replied Moao's team in unison. Suddenly, Shuiyu interjected, Tang Xiu, I want to go to Jingmen Island. For a moment, however, Tang Xiu hesitated. He then looked at the smiling Gu Yan before he nodded and said, Yan, Shuiyu wants to go to Jingmen Island, so bring her with you when you go back. Although she has obtained Dao Master Guai's inheritance and has had her cultivation improved rapidly, she still does not have the ability to control her own power. Do well to help her control it. Also, it's best if she can progress in her state of mind as well. No worries, I know what to do. Gu Yan nodded with a slight smile. After some time, Tang Xiu had returned back to Shanghai since Gu Yan sent him back there. The two females, however, didn't stay long and went directly to Jingmen Island. Blue Star Villa Complex. Tang Xiu had taken a shower and was recollecting everything that happened recently. There was a wry and bitter smile on his handsome face, however. He had gone through troubles and hard work to research the 6 Starlights Array and was finally able to open that immortal trove, yet the result was meant for someone else. He had even taken the risk of having his identity and whereabouts leaked. Hey, let's drop it. Besides, it's not like the results were obtained by some outsiders anyway. He took a seat on the bed and couldn't help but sigh. Suddenly, he recalled that he put his mobile phone inside his interspatial ring, and it had been many days since he had checked it, so he didn't know whether any of his acquaintances had any issues they needed to talk to him about. Just as he took his handset out, however, he found it had been automatically shut down, out of battery. Several minutes later, after he had it charged enough, he turned it on and was greeted by a swarm of incoming texts. There were tons of missed calls from many people. Most of the calls came from 2 particular cell numbers. One that he never expected was Zhang Xinye's, whereas the other one was unfamiliar. However, it was late at night, so he wasn't in a hurry to call back. The most important thing he should do at present was to have a rest, as it had been more than 4 days since he last slept. As morning came, the ringtone of his phone woke Tang Xiu up. He opened his eyes and grabbed the phone before seeing that it was a call from Zhang Xinyue. It's strange. She keeps calling me, what could have happened to her? With that thought in mind, Tang Xiu pressed the button to answer and spoke, Hello, Xinyue. It's me, Tang Xiu. Zhang Xinyue's complaining voice came out from the phone, You finally turned on your phone now, Tang Xiu? I've called you so many times these past few days, and you never picked up. Where are you now? There's a very urgent issue, so I want to meet you. I'm at home in the Blue Star Villa complex. What's so urgent? Asked Tang Xiu. After falling into silence for a moment, she finally replied, I've not been looking for you regarding myself. It's about my big sis. Can you see her, Tang Xiu? Huh? Tang Xiu was confused and asked, What happened to Xinye? She's been in a very foul mood recently after she came back from Qingcheng Mountain, answered Zhang Xinyue in a bitter voice. Especially very recently. She's kinda tormenting herself by drowning all her time into work, and she flew around the world to accept a lot of business gigs without reserve at all. I just saw her a couple of days ago. I just realized that she has lost weight so drastically, tens of pounds of weight. Tang Xiu opened his mouth, but didn't continue commenting and instead spoke out something else. You also know that it's pretty much impossible for me to be with your sister, Xinyue. I'd only stimulate her more if I were to contact her, and it won't even help her in the slightest. I think cutting off all contact would be for the best to get out of this sentimental mess quickly. I'm well aware that quickly severing the relationship would be the best result, but I'm afraid that she'll keep tormenting herself and continue cracking apart, replied Zhang Xinyue astringently. Tang Xiu, she's the most important person in my life. I can never allow myself to ignore her and let her fall into peril. Even if I know that her being with you is not a good decision either. I just can't manage it anymore. Tang Xiu fell into silence. Severing all contacts to straighten out the mess caused by such feelings was indeed for the best, as he knew that he couldn't give Zhang Xinya a future she deserved to have. Rather than letting her drown in agony in life, it was best to have her to suffer for a much shorter time until she could break free from all that. It was just that he didn't expect that she was so stubborn in nature, giving him a great headache. But Zhang Xinyue was also presumably correct. He wouldn't be able to let go of the guilt for a very long time if Zhang Xinya were to break apart and fall into trouble. Where's she now? After considering, Tang Xiu let out a bitter smile and asked. She flew to Thailand yesterday and I was unable to stop her, answered Zhang Xinyue. I'm going to text you the address shortly. All right, said Tang Xiu and then hang up. Suddenly, he remembered the dozen missed calls from another unfamiliar number these past few days. He then dialed the number to call it back. Hello? Boss Tang, an excited cry came out from the phone. I am Tang Xiu, and you are, asked Tang Xiu back. I'm Yang Pengchao. The one who sold you the jade monkey. Didn't you send someone before to fetch my girlfriend, Yu Li's, mother in Shanghai previously? We're already in Shanghai, but I've been unable to contact you recently. It was Yang Pengchao's voice. Tang Xiu zoned out and let out a hollow laugh. Then he said, I'm really sorry. Something happened recently so I forgot about it. All right, where are you now? I'll catch up with you later. We're at Paradise Manor, answered Yang Pengchao. Wait for me there. I'll be there in an hour, said Tang Xiu. Previously, Tang Xiu thought that there wouldn't be many other issues he needed to tend to after he opened the Immortal Trove. He never thought that things that he had to deal with come again one after another. It was like there was a pair of invisible hands that kept pushing him forward. The problem with Zhang Xinya, the treatment of Yang Pengchao's future mother-in-law, his own preparations for going to Nine Dragons Island, and the issue regarding the jade pig, of which he had been waiting for the news of before he left for Thailand. That was a pile of issues indeed, reminding him that he was truly busy enough. As he recalled Nine Dragons Island, he immediately called Long Zhengyu. Then, he learned that the construction project there had reached the last stage and it was expected to finish in half a month. But he was required to be there to finish the work personally. Hey, Tang Xiu. I just came back to Star City a couple of days ago to deal with some things here. I'll be back to Nine Dragons Island in a week, but when will you go there exactly? Finally, Long Zhengyu asked about it from the phone. Tang Xiu thought about it for a moment and then said, about a week later. But, I'll head over to Nine Dragons Island from some other place, though, so let's keep in touch. Anyway, when you head back to Nine Dragons Island, can you help me by stopping by in Hong Kong? Go to Grand Fortune Jewelry and find Hao Lei. Tell her to prepare some jades and bring them with you there. All right. Got it. Long Zhengyu promised and then hung up. Chapter 927, Love Rival Provocation. The current summer was blazing hot, but Paradise Manor's business was particularly thriving due to its beautiful and picturesque scenery. Even this morning, Tang Xiu found that many guests were literally scattered everywhere here. Many of them were families of three or couples enjoying the sunshine and the beautiful scenery of the venue. This is quite interesting. Tang Xiu sported a smile as he commented when excavators and hanging cranes entered his sight. Ouyang Lulu did tell him that she was going to set up a resort hotel in a spacious plot of land here, preparing it to be the best hotel resort. Since those construction vehicles were here, then her plan should have been set in motion already. Knock, knock. Just as Tang Xiu parked the car and looked at the construction in the distance, the car's windows were knocked on from the outside. He looked outside and immediately saw Ouyang Lulu bend down, showing off the fair skin of her waving bust and deep cleavage. He let out a faint smile, opened the car's door, and got out. He then shot a look at her clad in a fiery red dress with her elegant long black hair. Asking with a smile, Tang Xiu inquired, "So, you've started to build that resort hotel?" "Yup. That's why I've been looking forward to your return," answered Ouyang Lulu smilingly. "Huh? Looking forward to my return?" Tang Xiu stared blankly before he immediately burst into laughter and asked. "What does it have anything to do with me, though? I don't even know how to build a resort hotel, you see. What I can do for you is to draw the design plan at best." Ouyang Lulu raised her brows. She then patted the back of her head with a regretful expression. "Damn. Why the hell did I forget that? I forgot you can design buildings yourself. I lost money for nothing. I even paid someone to draw the design for the resort. Bah, it's no use to brood over it. Apart from some other stuff, you also gotta help me to make the design for our exclusive hotel then." "That's okay, with me. But what is this other stuff you just mentioned?" asked Tang Xiu with a smile. She reached out and mischievously smiled. "Well, I'm short on money, so I want money." Cough, cough. Tang Xiu was at a loss whether he should laugh or cry. Wait. If I recall correctly, haven't you told me repeatedly for the past few days that the Paradise Manor's business and its turnover have been so great? It's been running for half a year already, yet you're still short on money?" Ouyang Lulu just laughed at it and said, "You know what? You never managed a household, so you have no idea that daily necessities are quite expensive today. You might earn a lot, but there are tons of times when you must spend it. Besides, above all things, the resort I'm gonna build is 5-star, so it's natural that 6 months' earnings won't be enough for it." Tang Xiu understood quickly and ruminated for a while before he said, "All right, I'll take a look at how much money I have left in my account later. But since you want it based on a 5-star standard, then build it." There's another thing I want to discuss with you too," said Ouyang Lulu smilingly. "There's still another," muttered Tang Xiu with a puzzled face. Ouyang Lulu blinked and spoke in a whisper.
"Yeah."
"Can I have debit access to the Everlasting Feast Hall?" "Debit access to the Everlasting Feast Hall?" Tang Xiu got more confused and asked, "What for?" "I need to cultivate." "You also know that cultivation needs resources, while the medicinal pills provided by the Everlasting Feast Hall are so expensive," said Ouyang Lulu. "Expanding Paradise Manor will make me end up dirt poor for a very long time, and without money, I can only buy the pills on a checking account." Tang Xiu was at a loss whether he should cry or laugh yet again. "If you need medicinal pills, it's fine if you just tell me directly. Anyway, let's head inside, shall we? I must treat you Lee's mother first. I'll give you some pills after I'm done, so you don't need to worry about cultivation resources for the next few years." "Awesome." Ouyang Lulu was so ecstatic that she pecked Tang Xiu's neck and kissed his face. Not far away from them, 2 handsome young men were heading towards the parking lot. One of them caught Ouyang Lulu's action and immediately could not believe his eyes. His face turned nasty when his eyes fell on Tang Xiu. Well. Your rival in love has just appeared, Yang Yang." With a smile on the corners of his mouth, Wang Wei shot a squinted look at Yang Yang before he pulled out a cigarette and ignited it, commenting nonchalantly. Yang Yang ignored his comment and strode over towards Ouyang Lulu and Tang Xiu, who were heading in their direction. He stopped in front of them and questioned in a heavy voice, "Who's he, Lulu?" The smiling and beaming face of Ouyang Lulu immediately receded upon seeing the two of them. It was replaced by a clearly indignant look as she coldly snorted, "Humph, I told you many times already, Yang Yang. Lulu is not a name you can call out at will, you must call me by my full name. Besides, who he is has nothing to do with you. Just scram far away from me, otherwise, don't blame me for throwing away any courtesy with you." Yang Yang felt suffocated. He vented out his anger by glaring angrily at Tang Xiu and growled, "I don't give a damn about who you are. Lulu is a woman I like, so scram from her." "And who are you?" asked Tang Xiu. "Who am I?" Yang Yang sneered, "I'm the man you must never provoke. You better realize what you're capable of and leave, else you'll face an extremely serious consequence." Tang Xiu burst into laughter at his remark. He shook his head and asked Ouyang Lulu, "From which stone did this thing come out of, Lulu? Is he pursuing you?" "He comes from Sichuan, from the Yang House, which is an ancient martial arts clan," answered Ouyang Lulu. "His mother and my mom are kind of friends, so I always give him some slack. Otherwise, I'd have driven him away." It was, however, a house Tang Xiu had never heard of, so he said to Yang Yang, "Young man, there's nothing wrong with young men like us loving bells. But if you got the ability, you should pursue them by yourself. Don't just run around and threaten others with such a tone. That makes you look like a child. Also, it's best if you verify the identity of the ones you threaten first. You'll just invite a calamity to befall upon your family otherwise." Yang Yang's expression turned nastier. Ouyang Lulu's remark had already made him vexed, but Tang Xiu's attitude just added more fuel to the flame. He furiously growled, "Punk, do you know how reckless and blind you are? Hold it." Wang Wei, who was just standing at the side, reached out to grab Yang Yang's shoulder. He curiously looked at Tang Xiu and spoke, "Friend, what you just said is correct. He should have checked your identity if he wanted to act so arrogant. It would be a very dumb thing that stupid people could do, no? But you see, we're all young men here, so there's no need to act with such a disguised mannerism, right? Just tell us who you are." As an answer, Tang Xiu embraced Ouyang Lulu's waist and lightly smiled, "Well, I'm her man. Isn't that enough of an identity?" Sigh. Wang Wei shook his head and sighed, "You're a young man yourself and should be 21 something, right? But you just called Yang Yang a young man before, so it's quite laughable to me. Alas, it feels so ludicrous that even you yourself don't dare to say who you are." "And you are?" asked Tang Xiu. "The Wang family from Singapore," answered Wang Wei. "Ah, a Singaporean Chinese? Your house's hands can reach China?" asked Tang Xiu curiously. "Can it? You need not concern yourself about that, I think." Wang Wei confidently replied, "But of course, I don't need to hide my head and wag my tail behind legs like you, afraid to tell your own identity. My family is preparing to invest big in China in the near future to gradually shift our industries. You'll find my name appearing in the business circle of China soon." "Well, congratulations then," said Tang Xiu with a smile. "But thanks to your cynicism, I give you my guarantee that your Wang family's industries will never return to the mainland. You can wait and see if you don't believe me." Wang Wei rolled his eyes at it and mocked, "Pfft, who the hell do you think you are, huh? Do you think you represent the policy of a country to push away incoming money? Truly idiotic." Ouyang Lulu looked at him with some sympathy and said, "Everything he said is true. The business strategy of your family will probably fail here. I thought you were much better than Yang Yang before. I really didn't expect that you'd ruin the chance of your family going back to the mainland just because you want to win him over." Wang Wei was slightly stunned with creased brows. His face turned solemn and he asked Tang Xiu again, "I'm going to ask you again, friend. Who are you, exactly?" Tang Xiu didn't feel like experiencing the bickering of these two fellas anymore, so he directly put his family's name forward, "Tang Xiu of the Tang family from Beijing." "Humph, so you're the offspring of one of those government officials?" Yang Yang sneered and said, "No wonder you got such a big tone and dare to threaten us. But my house is an ancient martial art clan with a legacy with which your family can never compare to. I give you back your advice. Don't court disaster to fall upon your family, else." Tang Xiu's face turned frosty and he asked with a chilling voice, "Otherwise what?" Else, your Tang family will suffer heavy losses and your close relatives will become targets for retaliation, stated Yang Yang coldly. Don't think I'm just scaring you. You don't know how deep my family is. And you, Lulu, you had better make him scram immediately if you want the best for him. You two are well aware of how powerful my family is. What a moron. Ouyang Lulu grunted and turned to look at Tang Xiu. All right, we gotta talk first. My mom is like sisters with his mother, so if the Yangs were to be destroyed, his mother will definitely seek shelter with my mom. Honey, you must keep her alive should you decide to do anything on account of my face, alright? Her request made Tang Xiu between laughter and tears. Hey, why do you make me like I'm some kind of loony murderous demon? I won't wantonly exterminate his entire house just because of this trivial thing. With that said, he took his handset out and dialed Gu Xiaoshue's number. After his call got picked up, he said, investigate the Yang house in Sichuan for me. I don't know anything specific about this family, so Lulu will tell you about it later. All right, Grand Master, replied Gu Xiaoshue respectfully. However, she seemed hesitant before she continued. Grand Master, have you approved? Master as your woman, just like Miss Shui? Tang Xiu was dumbstruck and stared blankly. He let out a bitter smile and said, You, girl. You're still a child, yet you just asked me about such a matter? Just focus on your cultivation. The annoyed voice of Gu Xiaoshui replied, I'm not a child anymore, Grand Master. I'm much older than you. You're just still a toddler in my eyes, replied Tang Xiu back. He then promptly hung up. Yang Yang and Wang Wei exchanged glances as they were keen enough to catch the crucial term, cultivation, from Tang Xiu's dialogue. Could it be that he's also practicing cultivation art? Yang Yang took a deep breath and sneered, so, if my guess is correct, you should also be someone who has been practicing martial arts. Isn't that right, mister? I've always been regarded as the best talent to cultivate in my house and have been touted as the strongest junior of the youngest generation. How about we have a spar? I won't bully you, I'll even let you have a move ahead. Nah. Not interested. Tang Xiu lightly shook his head. Yang Yang's eyes turned cold. His figure dashed to Tang Xiu's front in an instant, sending a very fast barrage of punches accompanied with a twisting wind to quickly come in front of Tang Xiu. Tang Xiu's expression slightly changed, as he didn't expect that this fella would directly attack him. He didn't even care that Ouyang Lulu was still in his arms. Chapter 928, My boss is really strong. There was a personal code Tang Xiu had always insisted on upholding. He would never start any fight with anyone should they not attack him first. While he was too lazy to care about such an insignificant person like Yang Yang, unexpectedly, this fella couldn't see eye to eye with him and directly attacked. Scram. With a seemingly light punch, he directly clashed with Yang Yang's fist. The sound of broken bones was heard, along with Yang Yang's scream. His entire arm was instantly broken and twisted. His body was flung backward under the huge impact and heavily slammed on the concrete pavement 7+ meters away. Wang Wei's pupils shrunk with a burst of a horrified look. He knew Yang Yang's strength. On that point, he had to admit that he himself was much inferior. So he never imagined that the clash of fists between them ended up in the immediate defeat of Yang Yang, and so badly at that. With fear breeding in his heart, he sprinted to Yang Yang's side, propping him to sit down and asking with concern, Are you all right? Yang Yang shot a disbelieving look towards Tang Xiu as though he just saw a ghost in broad daylight. He was quite formidable himself, even though he couldn't compare to those martial art grandmasters. Average martial arts experts were not his match. And yet, he got defeated just like that? Tang Xiu disdainfully looked at him and apathetically said, I didn't even use all my strength when I killed a tiger last year. And your strength? You lost so pathetically that you are not even qualified to make me use even 1% of what I'm capable of. I was originally too lazy to pay attention to such a nobody like you. I just didn't expect that you're really so ignorant and reckless. The Amur tiger? Yang Yang was dumbfounded. He suddenly realized something, and while suppressing the piercing pain in his fist and arm, he struggled to crawl up from the ground and hurriedly called out, "Was it you who killed the Amur tiger?" "That's impossible. Absolutely impossible. The one who killed him is Beijing's Tang." At his point, his expression froze and his body shivered. Of all the ancient martial arts clans in the country, who among them didn't know how terrifying the Amur tiger was? Well-known rumors had it that the Amur tiger was not even a martial artist. He was a cultivator. And yet, the rumor that the long-lived Amur tiger, whose formidable strength literally shook everyone under the sun, was killed in Beijing, already spread out to those who were concerned. It was the Tang family of Beijing. Yang Yang couldn't remember it just a moment ago, so he held no fear to those families in the capital. But as he recalled the matter regarding the Amur tiger being killed, he was literally frozen. It was as if his whole being was falling into a hole inside a glacier. After all, ancient martial arts clans would probably dare to pick a fight with any family save the Tang family of Beijing. He still vividly remembered what his father once told him. If my guess is correct, the Tang family of Beijing must have a very powerful expert, and this person should be a Taoist cultivator. If he's not, then his martial arts mastery has reached a very terrifying level. I'm afraid that this person is also able to completely eradicate our family. Not even in his dreams did Yang Yang ever imagine that the expert his father had appraised was actually this 21-something young man in front of him. Wang Wei, however, didn't know all of this. He just saw that his brother was hit badly. Although he knew that he was not Tang Shou's match at all, he still angrily looked up with a furious face and growled, "Friend, aren't you just too ruthless? You just wasted his arm. Don't you also know what this means to a martial artist?" "Humph," sneered Tang Shou. "If I were just an average person and not very strong myself, his punch should have taken half my life out. I only broke his arm, which was already mercy on him, no. This?" The answer made Wang Wei unable to retort this time. He was well aware of Yang Yang's strength and he knew that Tang Shou was right. It was Yang Yang who attacked him first in his fury and didn't show mercy at all. Being disgusted with both of them, Tang Shou waved and said, "Get the hell out of this place. Don't think you can rely on your pathetic kung fu and your family's background before me. But I'm not that ruthless a man and I'm not in the mood to bicker with you. Else, let alone you all, even your family will be implicated. You're very strong indeed, but it's still worse than your mouth." Wang Wei yelled again angrily, "We'll bump into each other again and see what happens later." "Stupid." Tang Shou shook his head. He didn't want to bother to even look at them anymore, so he just took Ouyang Lulu to head inside the villa. The incident was just a trivial episode that had close to no influence on him. But to prevent the issue bothering him in the future, he still must investigate Yang Yang's family background. If they still dared to annoy him again, he would make them learn a lesson at the worst. "Lulu, don't forget to tell Xiaoshuet to send some men to visit the Yang family and give them some shock and fright. They can kick their martial hall plaque." "That's right, just use that custom." "Do you perhaps want to make the Yangs lose face in the ancient martial arts clan circle?" asked Ouyang Lulu. "Don't you think that losing face is much better than the whole family being destroyed?" asked Tang Shou back. "Besides, I may have just ruined a certain family in Ning City last night." Ouyang Lulu curled her lips, apparently not buying Tang Shou's words. "If you were in Ning City last night, it's impossible for you to return to Shanghai so early today, huh? Even if you're boasting, please don't leave such a loophole." Tang Shou couldn't help but laugh and didn't bother arguing back with her over such a trivial matter. As they walked deeper, he soon met Yang Pingchao and Yu Li. Coldness gleamed in Wang Wei's eyes as they watched Tang Shou's back as he left. After he left, he let out a low growl, "What a very arrogant guy. So rampant while just relying on his very formidable strength?" I admit my loss today, but I'll pay you back one day. There was a complicated expression on Yang Yang's face as he shook his head. He took a deep breath and bitterly said, "Just forget it, Wang Wei. We won't be able to enact revenge, much less deal with him." Wang Wei was irritated upon hearing Yang Yang and unhappily retorted, "What did you say? Your hand was broken by him, yet you unexpectedly have gotten so down? Don't you know the most stupid thing is to raise your enemy to a pedestal and destroy your own spirit? You wouldn't have said that had you known who the Amur tiger of the northern region was." Yang Yang shook his head. "Just forget it. I admit I deserve this punishment today, and I have decided to give up on Ouyang Lulu since she's his woman now." "What the fuck did you say?" chided Wang Wei furiously. "I really misread you. I thought you were a man, but now I see you are so cowardly. Even if he's very formidable, what about it? Is he even much more powerful than bullets? Worst comes to worst, I can just spend some money to hire a powerful hitman and directly erase him silently." Yang Yang's pupils shrunk and he looked around quickly. After he found that there was nobody around, only then did he feel relieved. He lowly shouted, "Can you cut your crap? You may want to court your death, but not with that method. I'll tell you something. If he's really the one who killed the Amur tiger, let alone any powerful hitman, even the top in the world Spectre would never be able to kill him." Wang Wei slapped his face hard as his answer, then pointed his nose and chided, "You're full of shit. Now you are scared of him? You're telling me the world's best assassin Spectre wouldn't be able to kill him? Even if there are 10,000 people like him, Spectre can eliminate them. You know shit. I coincidentally saw Spectre kill while I was watching through a telescope 2 kilometers away. But I guarantee it's a cinch for him to kill this punk." "Nope. You're wrong. I would never be able to kill him." Spectre, clad in a black wushu suit with arms folded, suddenly appeared by a tree a little over 5 meters away from them. It was him who spoke while groaning and leaning on that tree. Yang Yang's face drastically changed. He had just observed the vicinity, so he was sure that nobody was around within a large radius. How was this man able to come over? Is he a ghost or something? "You are." After Wang Wei clearly saw Spectre's face, his legs went so soft that he almost knelt down on the ground. He grabbed Yang Yan's arm, and once his body stopped shaking, he paced back a few steps further and stutteringly said, "Why you're that seclusive. Spectre? The best assassin in the world, Spectre? Didn't you say it yourself, that you accidentally saw me kill someone before?" Spectre chuckled and said, "So what's the fuss for? Is it even needed?" Wang Wei released Yang Yang while deep dread and fright remained on his face. Plop. He knelt down while looking up to Spectre and called out, "Please, please don't kill us. I'll pay 10 times the price if someone has paid you to kill us. No, no, no. I'll pay 20 times the price. But please spare us." Yang Yang was utterly dumbfounded. He never expected that after they just spoke about the devil himself came right away. To think that the top hitman in the world unexpectedly appeared before them. Yet, why did he come to China and even to Shanghai? How come he has appeared here in Paradise Manor? Isn't this way too coincidental? Or, is Wang Wei mistaken? Spectre lackadaisically looked up toward the glaring sun. Then, he shook his head and sighed, "Damn it, I'm so bored, so very bored. It thought I could kill 2 punk chickens to throw my boredom away. But I didn't expect you to be so afraid of annoying my boss further right in front of his face, while only daring to make a fuss when his back is turned. Bah. He's too soft-hearted, really. That boss of mine is too kind and merciful." His boss. Spectre's boss? Yang Yang and Wang Wei suddenly remembered Tang Xiu. The duo instantly was filled with disbelief at the same time. To make sure their guess was correct, Yang Yang hurriedly asked, "You mean Tang Xiu is your boss. How is this possible? What qualifications does he have to be your boss? You're the best hitman in the world. Spectre rolled his eyes at him and snarled, man, boss was right. You truly are stupid and ignorant. I recall there's an adage in your country. What is it? The frog at the bottom of a well? That's right, that's it. You both really are like frogs stranded in the bottom of a well. You can never know what kind of power my boss possesses. Hey, forget it. You won't even understand it even if I tell you. But then again, he seems to have become much stronger after he came back, though. My legs kinda shivered even though he didn't unleash his aura deliberately. Chapter 929, A Must Not Be Broken Rule. Spectre was indeed very bored now, to the point that he thought that it would be so funny if he teased these two idiots. He nearly burst into laughter upon seeing how panicked and horrified they were. It's been 13 years. It was the time he had been confined in mental training that nearly choked him to death. And thus, the moment he came to Shanghai from Jingmen Island, he could be said to have turned into a talker. He gossiped with the girl who sold tickets, chatted with the tourists on the bus, talked with the driver, and even had chit-chat with the security guards at the gate. Shortly put, he literally spewed out anything he had in mind and was unwilling to miss any chance to chat with anyone. It was because of the phrase, a day in heaven is equal to a year on earth. Only now did he thoroughly understand what this line meant. Back when he came to the Everlasting Feast Hall's HQ in Jingmen Island, a celestial maiden-like woman threw him into a bizarre array. What was more unbelievable was that he had experienced years inside. It wasn't until he came out of the array that he found out that it was a time-accelerating array, and the woman who did that to him was called Gu Yan, his boss's disciple. That's right. I was just reminded of something, though. Spectre blinked to watch the horrified faces and spoke to them all of a sudden. Wang Wei gulped down and frightfully replied stutteringly, what did you just recall? Spectre ruminated for a while and grinningly said, well, ever since I set my feet into the assassination world, I think I always rip off the heads of those who happen to see me. I think I stabbed their hearts and cut off their limbs, each and every one of them. You just said that you once saw me kill my target, didn't you? What should I do? Should I cut off your head, stab your heart, or chop your limbs off? Man, this multiple choice question really gives me a headache. No. Please don't. Wang Wei screamed out in horror. Please spare me. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have poked my nose out and provoked your boss before. Please, I apologize. I'll see him at once to apologize. I'll do it even if I have to kneel and kowtow to him. He was truly frightened. And while this fear did come from Spectre, it was also Tang Xiu who gave him much of this horror. Who was Speeder in the first place? He was the ruthless ghost, the best assassin in the world that even those heads of the state were very afraid of. And yet, such a ruthless man was actually Tang Xiu's henchman. That was simply unthinkable. At this moment, he was so scared to hear how terrifying the power possessed by Tang Xiu was, which definitely had reached an unthinkable terrifying level. He was still so young and death was far from being his wish, so he could only cast his pride away. He bent down and knelt, begging for mercy and hoping to keep his life. Spectre just grinned in response, well, my boss actually likes money so much, though. I may regard money like dirt, but not him. It's just that I don't know how much your life is worth, so tell me how much it is, and I'll only give one chance. Only then did Wang Wei's face look extremely relieved and joyful as he blurted out without hesitation, 240 million, which is all the fortune I have. I'll transfer it to you right away as long as you don't kill me, no to your boss's account. Yang was now left dumbstruck. He was a rich man as well, but practicing martial arts had been his focus all his life, so he didn't go all out to seek fortune. Let alone 240 million, he didn't even have a tenth of that amount. See, can you, please give me some time? I have no money now, but I have a wealthy family. I'll call my house to ask for the money immediately. Please, give me some time. I'll prepare the amount as needed, said Yang Yang with a bitter face. Spectre rolled his eyes as his answer and said, then you must also take out 240 million. A penny less means your life is much cheaper than this guy. I couldn't care less about the likes of a cheap life. Yang Yang shuddered violently. He immediately grabbed his phone, dialed a cell number, and anxiously spoke in a hurry, Mother, I need money. 240 million. Please don't ask me what for and why now. I can only tell you that it's concerning my life and death. Just transfer it to the man, or you'll only see my dead body. What happened to you, son? A hushed and anxious voice came replying. Yang Yang's voice hiked up and he hastily cried out, Please don't ask about it now, Mom. Just hurry up and transfer the money. Only that money can save me now. All right. Don't worry. I'll transfer it to you immediately, a panicked voice came replying again. Yang Yang hung up and cautiously looked at Spectre and said, The money will be transferred soon. Please, just wait. Spectre let out strange laughter and then said, Well. You both seem to value your life. All right, seeing that you're so sincere to pay, I'll spare you guys, but my rule is still on and must never be broken. I don't give a fuck how powerful the forces behind you two are. You dare to reveal even a word about me, then I guarantee you will see your maker, including your family members. Yes. We'll definitely keep our mouth shut. We won't dare do anything. Yang Yang and Wang Wei frightfully promised and pleaded. Just prepare the money and give it to my boss when you personally apologize to him, said Spectre with a happy smile. With that said, his figure vanished in an instant. Yang Yang and Wang Wei exchanged glances. After a very long while, the former muttered to himself, Is he a ghost, or a human? How come he's just vanished like that? He didn't disappear out of thin air. It's just that he's too fast and our naked eyes can't see him, said Wang Wei bitterly. Spectre is the first and the best assassin in the world, to begin with. Perhaps, he's the only one who possesses such a horrifying speed. What you said is right, Yang Yang. We just provoked a very frightening existence, so we indeed deserve it.
Yeah.
Yang Yang nodded and took a deep breath. Deeper inside Paradise Manor was a European-style building near the woods. Yang Pengchao and Yu Li stood before the windows, waiting for Tang Xiu's arrival. Behind them was a middle-aged woman with a pale face, who looked fragile while leaning on the bedside. Her eyes, however, were full of eagerness for living. She had been inquiring about all the issues relating to the young divine Dr. Tang Xiu in the last few days. What she found made her spirit to keep on living, which was originally dying out inside her, light up again, as though she saw a beacon of light to continue on living. Peng Chao, Lily, has divine Dr. Tang come yet? Cui Yenru watched the back of the two teenagers and asked. The duo turned around and Yu Li was the one who answered, Divine Dr. Tang said that he'd be here in an hour, Mom. I'm sure he'll be here since he's someone whose words can be trusted. That's right, Auntie. Lily tells the truth. Yang Pingchang also nodded and said, Divine Dr. Tang is someone who upholds his promises. He'll definitely deliver on his promise. Please rest your worries, he'll probably arrive soon. All right. It's just that I'm rather impatient and anxious. Cui Yenru nodded and said, However, there's something I want to discuss with you both before Divine Dr. Tang comes. Please tell us, Auntie, said Yang Pengchao. Pengchao, you also know what kind of illness I have and how I got it, Pengchao. The chance for me to survive is so slim. I don't doubt the medicine expertise Divine Dr. Tang has, but the chance that severe leukemia can be cured is very unlikely. If, in the case that Divine Dr. Tang cannot cure me, I really hope you can take good care of Lily in the future. I know my daughter. She has chosen you, so she will follow you to the end. I believe that Divine Dr. Tang will be able to cure you, Auntie, replied Yang Pingchao. But you can also rest assured that I'll definitely carry out your wishes. I'll never give up on Yuli no matter what happens to us in the future. I'll take good care of her. Cui Yenru nodded with a satisfied and pleased face. Lily is truly blessed. Yuli went to the bedside and sat beside her, saying, "You'll definitely able to live for a long time, Mom. I believe that. Pengchao's parents have already passed away and he has no relatives left, so there's only you now. We'll be filial to you and take care of you in the future. Therefore, you must be strong and must believe in Divine Dr. Tang to actively cooperate in the treatment. I believe that you'll be fine in no time." All right. Near the window, Yang Pingchao turned his head and looked outside without a word. He then suddenly saw a pleasant surprise as he quickly cried out, "That's Divine Dr. Tang. He's coming. Lily, accompany Auntie here. I'm going to greet him." "There's no need to do so." Tang Shou's voice suddenly entered Yang Pingchao's ear all of a sudden. In just a few seconds, the door was pushed as Tang Shou and Ouyang Lulu came inside in strides. You. Yang Pingchao was totally stunned. He dared swear to heaven that Tang Shou and Ouyang Lulu were still on the pathway outside this European-styled building a few moments ago. That was tens of meters away. But how did they get here upstairs in just a few seconds? How was it possible for them appear before him so fast? Not even the fastest sprinter in the world, the winner of the 100-meter dash, could do it. Tang Shou blinked at him with a faint smile. Then, he looked Cui Yenru on the patient bed and smilingly said, "You must be Yuli's mother, right? I'm Tang Shou, and this is Ouyang Lulu." Cui Yenru struggled to get up, but Tang Shou stopped him so that she was leaning on the bedhead. Then she gratefully said, "I've heard your name for a very long time, Divine Dr. Tang. Also, Proprietress Lulu has been very kind to look after us for the last few days. You both are good people." "Thank you." "There's no need to thank us," replied Tang Shou with a smile. "If you want to thank someone, thank Yang Pingchao. He's a good young man who has a fine future ahead of him." "I've already given my consent to both of them," said Cui Yenru. "I already know Pingchao is a good young man, so I can feel relieved to hand over Lily to him even if I have to leave this world." Tang Shou went to the bed and reached out to pick her hand and check her pulse. "You won't die with me here unless you yourself commit suicide. Besides, it's not like leukemia is an incurable disease, although there have been some cases that were difficult to treat." After a half-minute passed by, Tang Shou took out a porcelain insulator and handed it to Yuli. "There's a drop of medicinal liquid inside made by myself. Just pour a drop of this medicinal liquid into warm water and let your mother take a bath in it. Please remember, the process will be very painful, but she must endure it. She should be able to hold on for 10 minutes given her current physique. After she comes out of the bathtub, you can also have a shower with the water. It'll be of great benefit to you too." Yuli blanked out and asked, "I need to take a shower too?" "This medicinal liquid not only has an effect on your mother, but is also very good on you," explained Tang Shou. "As long as you can endure soaking yourself inside the water for 10 minutes, you'll have your physical fitness greatly improved." Chapter 930, Paying a Visit to Send Money. The medicine Tang Shou gave them was the usual body-refining liquid to temper one's physique. The medicinal liquid was also effective as a treatment for many illnesses. As long as the efficacy of this medicine entered Cui Yenru's system, it would be able to kill all those cancerous white cells and save her from danger. The reason why he told Yuli to soak herself inside the water was that he didn't want to waste the medicine's efficacy. After Yuli received the porcelain bottle, she asked, "I'll definitely do what you asked of me, Divine Dr. Tang. But when are you going to treat Mother?" "I gave you that medicine, isn't that a cure for her?" asked Tang Shou smilingly. "What do you mean?" Yuli was so confused and asked again, just taking a bath will cure her? All right, just turn on the water now and then take your mother to have a bath, said Tang Xiu. You'll know the effect after she has taken a bath. Besides, I'll be in Paradise Manor for the time being. I'll be back here in 2 hours. It was so difficult for Yuli to make anything out of Tang Xiu's explanation, so she just nodded in a daze, watching Tang Xiu and Ouyang Lulu leave. Then, she looked at Yang Pengchao and whispered, "Do you understand what Divine Doctor meant? I just never heard of anything like a drop of medicine curing leukemia patients, like ever. He wouldn't be making fun of us, right? He'll never make fun of us for no reason at all, absolutely." Yang Pengchao firmly replied. He's hailed as a miracle-working doctor, and he is definitely a master at his expertise. Let's not question anything about him first, Lily. Just take Auntie and try the medicine first. We can still see Divine Dr. Tang if it's not good and let him find another way. All right. Yuli complied and cautiously propped up her mother. After Tang Xiu and Ouyang Lulu left the European-styled pavilion, Ouyang Lulu then asked with curiosity evident on her face, "Hey, Tang Xiu. Is that drop of medicinal liquid able to cure a leukemia patient? Isn't that pretty much ridiculous? I concocted that medicine myself. If it can't cure the illness of ordinary people, then it's just trash, completely useless," said Tang Xiu smilingly. All right, don't worry. That drop of body-refining liquid won't just have an effect on her, but it will also fully clear out all the harmful white cells in her system, as well as gives great benefits to her physique. She'll definitely live and stay healthy for the rest of her life, unless she gets into an accident and dies that way. Though half believing and half doubting it, Ouyang Lulu still nodded and no longer thought about it. She instead asked with a smile, "Have you had breakfast this morning? You want me to prepare you a meal? That reminds me. I haven't had a bite at all, frankly," said Tang Xiu smilingly. Quickly after, the couple appeared in the dining hall. There were some guests staying in the establishment, so the dining hall was quite full of people. But seeing Moen having a meal in the corner of the dining hall was quite a surprise to Tang Xiu. "Hello, Mr. Mo," greeted Tang Xiu after walking over and sitting across from Moe. Moe looked up and joyfully replied after he found out that it was Tang Xiu, "Hey, when did you come back and why didn't you tell me in advance? There's something very important that I need to tell you about." Tang Xiu's interest piqued and he asked, "Is it about the result of the research?" Moe firmly nodded and said to the point,
Yeah.
"It was thanks to the help from Divine Dr. Gui Jianchou, so the research products have taken shape. We also have conducted some tests, though we haven't yet experimented it on the human body. But all in all the tests are very satisfactory. Just 2 days ago, we sent some samples to the Shanghai First Public Hospital to be used on patients." "It can also be used to treat illness?" asked Tang Xiu in astonishment. "Of course," Moe affirmed with a smile, "it can treat many illnesses. Also, we actually have a plan to do some experiments to use it on healthy people. But then, we were afraid that it would have side effects, so we cancelled it. We'll wait and observe more and, if there are no side effects on the patients, we'll experiment on healthy average people." Tang Xiu went silent, but then suddenly said, "Send someone to retrieve the samples back from Shanghai First Public Hospital immediately. I'll provide you some people for the experiment." "But about the side effects," said Moe quickly. Tang Xiu raised his hand to interrupt him and said, "Don't worry about that. I'll be there as well, so even if the samples have any side effects, I have a way to remove it for them. And, Professor Mo, I wish that you won't announce the results of your research for some time." "But why?" Moe looked confused and asked. "It's a good thing and it will benefit all mankind. The result of your research will definitely cause a stir worldwide once it's spread out ahead of time," said Tang Xiu. "At that time, countless bloodshot and greedy eyes will fall on this Paradise Manor and you. Hence, we must keep it confidential as it is still in the early stage. At the same time, it will also ensure your safety. Moe ruminated for a while and he felt that Tang Xiu was right, so he nodded and said, "All right. I'll listen to you. If anything, we won't need to worry about the following steps of this research later. I'm also preparing to go back to Star City a few days from now. I spent quite some time to review the research over there and have some grasp of it, so I must go there and help with the research." "That's fine. You can go back if you need to," said Tang Xiu. Shortly after, he asked Ouyang Lulu to call the experts from the Everlasting Feast Hall stationed here. After telling them to carry out some tasks, only then did he begin to eat the meal Ouyang Lulu gave him. Just as Moe put down his chopsticks and was about to leave, however, Spectre waltzed in from the outside. "Hello, boss." The lackadaisical manner of Spectre vanished instantly upon seeing Tang Xiu, and he called out in high spirits. Tang Xiu nodded at him in response and asked, "So, how has your progress in immortal cultivation been recently? Are you familiar with the Everlasting Feast Hall's HQ in Jingmen Island now?" Spectre forced a smile in response and shook his head. "Well, I'm just started to get used to it, though I was forced to experience one day as if it was the length of a year. But then, my mental power kind of magnified and my cultivation has reached the early stage of foundation establishment." Looking satisfied, Tang Xiu nodded and said, "I have been long aware that you can break through to the early stage of foundation establishment. After all, you already had a very solid foundation previously. But I don't get it when you mention that you went through a day that was equal to a year in cultivation. What kind of issues did you have in the process, exactly?" "It was not just mere issues, boss." Spectre sighed, "It was big problems. And boss, your disciple is truly way too powerful. The array she arranged can actually—" Tang Xiu raised his hand to interrupt him and calmly said, "I already know she's very strong and has made grand accomplishment in arrays as well, so you don't need to mention more. But since you already came to Shanghai, you're going to follow me. And the rest are now in Ning City dealing with something, so you'll be my driver and bodyguard later." "Got it." Spectre immediately complied. Tang Xiu then shifted his attention to Moe and said, "You can go back first, Professor Mo. I gotta fill my belly first as I haven't eaten for a couple of days. I'm starving right now." "All right. I'll take my leave first." Moe, however, shot a deep glance at Spectre. He overheard the word cultivation from Tang Xiu and Spectre's dialogue. He didn't understand what this cultivation word meant previously, but now he was well aware that this term Tang Xiu used meant he was cultivating in Dao to become the likes of Celestial Immortal, in the legends. "Mr. Tang." Just as Moe left the dining hall, Wang Wei hurriedly ran in from the outside. After he came to Tang Xiu's side, he respectfully handed over a bank card and said, "Mr. Tang, we were in the wrong previously, driven by our reckless youth mentality. Please don't stoop to our stupidity and ignorance. If anything, this bank card has 240 million in it, a token of my apology for offending you. Please don't think of it as too small a number as this is all the money I have." Tang Xiu frowned and asked, "Who wants your money?" Wang Wei subconsciously stole a glance at Spectre and replied, "I know you like money, Mr. Tang, so the money in this bank card is my token of apology to you. I promise I'll never make the same mistake again in the future, nor will I rely on my family and wealth to act bossy and arrogant." Tang Xiu could tell Wang Wei's purpose in giving him money from this guy's mannerisms and expression. He was sure that Spectre had something to do with it. But then, it was stupid to refuse the money that was offered right before your eyes, so he took the bank card and tossed it to Ouyang Lulu. "You take this. Just talk directly to the construction developer which part of Paradise Villa you need to build. Tell them to do their job well and money is not a concern." As for Ouyang Lulu, she of course received the bank card happily. "Well, 240 million is quite a lot, but it's still much less than the number we need for the whole project, though. Then, Spectre interjected, well, another guy is going to send another 240 million too. After Tang Xiu sent Wang Wei out, he then looked at Spectre and asked, why did you do that? Aren't you some billionaire who's not short on money? I'm not short on cash indeed, but it feels so wrong to refuse a fortune that walks itself right to your door, no? Spectre lightly grinned and said, besides, I don't want the money from them. It's your call how to deal with it, boss. Tang Xiu let out a faint smile as he took out a jade bottle and flicked it to Spectre, smilingly saying, the stuff inside will give you great benefits. Since your state of mind has been improved, it's best to seize the chance to progress yourself further. Not long after, Yang Yang also came and gave a bank card. This time, he didn't look at Ouyang Lulu even once, but instead stole glances at Spectre a few times instead. You really want to give this to me? Asked Tang Xiu as he looked at him smilingly. Boss Tang, we were indeed just like frogs looking at the sky from the bottom of a well previously. Yang Yang bitterly spoke, I didn't know that you were so powerful. And since Lulu, no, Ouyang Lulu is your woman, then I naturally don't dare to harbor any thoughts about her anymore. Please take this money. I hope that you can be magnanimous and won't make things difficult for me in the future. You know, people are usually unable to be convinced until they are faced with grim reality, so they end up losing much more than they should have in the end. Tang Xiu smiled and said, your name is Yang Yang, isn't it? I advise you to not practice martial arts to only act foolishly. Learn well of how to conduct yourself in the world, and cast away that nature of displaying a pretentious manner quickly. I've spared you today, but you won't know what kind of figure you're going to provoke in the future should you not change yourself. 'Cause later, maybe that person won't be as good as I am. Yes, yes. What you said is correct. I'll certainly correct myself, replied Yang Yan hurriedly. Tang Xiu didn't want to prolong the talk with him anymore. After tossing the bank card to Ouyang Lulu, he said, all right, you can go now and we'll drop everything here and now. But I hope you can keep your mouth shut about some things you just found out, otherwise, your fate will end up grim.